Hey everyone, so today I thought I'd make a short video on this. This is a vintage MXR Phase 100. This is the block logo version. These phasers came out in the 70s, 80s and were used by a lot of famous musicians during those decades and thereafter. One notable famous user of the MXR Phase 100 would be Billy Corgan. He used one of these a lot on Siamese Dream for a lot of the lead guitar parts. So this was actually the first vintage pedal that I ever bought. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and at the time I couldn't really afford any very expensive gear. So I was looking at these the new versions with the indicator LED on them, and they were going for about £100. And then I spotted this one. I believe it was on Reverb and it was slightly cheaper. It was about £80, so I just picked it up. If you're wondering about the weird cord that's sticking out of this, these don't actually have any way to power them apart from 9-volt batteries. So what the previous owner did was they soldered 2 wires to the battery clip that's inside. So they soldered the positive and the negative of the clip to a dedicated power lead, so you can actually plug it into a 9-volt power supply. So the reason I want to talk about this pedal today is because this phaser, not this specific one, but this type of phaser was actually supposedly the one used for the Nirvana song Curmudgeon. This is one of the only, if not the only song where Kurt actually recorded with a phaser pedal. According to kurtsequipment.com, it was one of these. My Phase 100 is known as the block letter version. That's just due to the font that's used here for the name of the pedal and also the controls and stuff. There were earlier versions of this known as the script logo, and they have a slightly fancier font. It's a bit more cursive. The script versions are a bit more desirable, but recently I've seen these start to kind of go up in value. So I'm not 100% sure which version of the Phase 100 was used on Curmudgeon, but I would imagine it was likely one of these block logo versions, just due to the time period in which these would have been for sale in the used market. So Curmudgeon was recorded on the 7th of April in 1992 at the Laundry Room Studios in Seattle. And this was actually the first recording session that took place with Nirvana after the Nevermind recording sessions. At this session, they also recorded a few songs like Oh the Guilt and also a few of the early In Utero demos. So today what I thought I would do is basically use the MXR Phase 100 to try and get the same sort of tone that you hear on Curmudgeon. I'm going to go over my setup in a second, but basically it is my Squier Affinity Strat over there, going into a Boss DS1, into the Phase 100 and out into my Mesa Boogie Studio 22. Hope you enjoy and let me know what you think in the comments. So to get this sound, here's what I'm using. I'm going through, to start off here, we've got the Squier Affinity Strat. This has a Seymour Duncan 59 bridge pickup, and apart from that it's pretty much stock. Out from there we're going into the Boss DS1 and then straight into the MXR Phase 100. Coming out of that we're going into the Mesa Boogie Studio 22. There's the settings there if you want to see. I'll just pan across that quickly. The graphic EQ is engaged and I'm using those settings there as well. And then from the amp we're going into the Marshall 412 cab with G12 T75 speakers, and we're recording that with this Rode NT1A condenser that's placed pretty much at the center of the cone of the right speaker there. Out from there, going into my audio interface and onto Audacity on my desktop.